All right, so last...
really, all good, no.
Ed on the side, and for those of you that need mobile DJing, mobile karaoke, whether you're at a business or a wedding or a prom or whatever. I can't believe you had a prom last week. You didn't invite us, jerk. But anyway, he had a couple of gigs last night.
You gonna wear that low cut deal?
Oh, no, I got a special tux for prom.
I wanted to see if that was Lauren.
No, she's listening to Mike Alto right now.
So
the replays.
Oh my God, did you hear it was Spanish and da-da-da? I'm like, no, I didn't, honey. So Ed last night is at one of his gigs, and you're overhearing a table who is loud, obnoxious, and then ends up walking out on a tab.
Yeah, the table in front of me, where I'm sitting to do my trivia, the table that was right in front of me, they're sitting there. It was two girls and a guy, and they're sitting there, and the girl is talking about. I think she was, because she was not attractive at all. And I think she was happy to have gotten laid, and that's all she was talking about was her sex life. So I'm sitting here. She wasn't fat, but she was just like, you know. And I'm sitting here, and she was just like, and then all it was sex at first. So I would let him do me however he wanted. Like, she's saying all this shit. So I'm just like, oh my God, I don't want to hear this shit. I really didn't want to hear it.
And she's talking. You can hear her over the music you're playing and the trivia you're doing.
She's loud as shit. So anyway,
this is at a prom?
No.
I'm so confused.
But you don't want to say what restaurant it was
at a bar. Yeah, it's at a bar.
What bar? You can.
No, I'm not gonna say it because for my own, protecting my own. I'm not worried about them not advertising with the podcast.
So you're talking about a bar that you were at last night.
That's his client.
That's your client.
Yeah.
That you were. I mean, it's not going to be that hard for somebody to draw the parallel to where you were. But
well, then let them. Okay, let them do the fucking Carmen Sandiego deal.
In the neighborhood.
All right. So anyway, then I see like this kind of like going back and forth with the server, this and that, yada yada, and the server goes towards the back, and all of a sudden I see these three people get up and they start laughing and they're like flipping off the bar area or whatever, and they walk out. So I'm like, what the fuck was that all about? So sure enough, the server comes up and she goes, are you fucking kidding me? And I go, what happened? And she goes, nothing. She goes, they were complaining about the food. They said that one of the meals didn't come out hot enough or whatever. Right. And I told them, I'm sorry, I could get them a new meal. She goes, they said they didn't want a new meal. So then she goes, I was going to take it off their bill and everything, but they said, you know, no, we want the whole entire bill erased, like drinks, everything.
Oh, come on.
Fuck these people.
So sure enough, she goes, so I went back in the back to the manager to let her know what was going on, and I turned around and these people just
Dine and Dash.
took off. Yeah.
The Dine and Dash. That's a...
And I was telling Fish before the show began, I said, you know, when I was 18 or 19, I did it once. I did it at Denny's out on I-4. Right. I said, we did it as a joke. I said, you know, it
wasn't a joke to that server.
No, it wasn't a joke to the server. Now I know, but when I was 18 or 19. But the way that happened last night, for these people to be just fucking assholes, and they were just trying to get a free meal for everybody at the table, and then walk out. You know, that was just dick.
Oh, those
I don't... It is a way dick move, but I think just to gloss over what you did and say, well, that's worse what they did. Why? They both walked out on the check.
There is a believe it or not, there's a difference, Jesse. And I know it sounds stupid. But there's a difference. Because when I was...
You were really polite when you Dine and Dashed.
No. When I was 18 or 19, however, although I might have even been 17. I might have still been in high school. I was stupid, and it was a prank. Sure. You know what I mean? This was an intentional, we know these people were obviously, they were older. They weren't, 18 or 19. They're probably in their 20s.
They haven't, that was his first, that was as a child,
If you're 18 or 19, you know better not to walk out.
Well, you're still feeling out your whatever. And he did it once and went, I feel like shit, and that was it.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
I
would never do it again.
These kind of fucks, these are the kind of people that look for a reason to walk out on a tab. Fucking pricks.
You walked out on a tab?
No, I never walked out on a tab. Sober.
We've had that conversation too, where you have to call your friend at the bar the night before and go, hey, did I pay you?
Dude, back in the day, Splitsville.
Elise, thank you so much for always making sure I pay you.
Pelican Pub? Yeah. Man, Splitsville, I used to have that gig every Friday night, man. We would just go out there and fucking destroy it. Like every Saturday, I'd call back and go, hey, did I pay my tab last night?
Right.
Yeah, man, you're good, you're good. Okay, cool.
Did I tip you? That was always my next question.
Oh, yeah, you tip. Because in those moments, it's not 20, but yeah, it's always...
Oh, you've doubled the check.
Right.
Always. What is that number? It's a 60. Oh, 120 it is. Yeah. I can add that when I'm drunk.
Man. Remember when we used to make money? That was awesome.
That was a good time.
Spread it around.
We do have the tip jar at fisherandcage.com if you want to help us buy a shot.
Well, you know what's funny? That always, whoever serves me wherever Hooters I go to, they always get hooked up because I have that same thing you do, the VIP 50% card.
Yeah.
So I have that VIP card, and for some reason, I should just hand everything to my wife from now on. So when it comes down to the math, I'm trying to still tip her the regular bill, obviously.
Right.
I'm not going to tip her on what
No.
the... I know
That's
that.
a bullshit thing to do. May I, real quick?
Sure.
For those of you mother cunts suck fucking whores, I'm not being gender specific.
There's a lot going on there. I know. I see it.
If you get something for free, if you have a coupon or some shit that takes 15% off the bill or 50% or all off, and you try to tip on that shit,
Nope.
you are an asshole.
Yep.
You are a fucking asshole.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So anyway, I'm always trying to tip that full amount. I know that. So, but what happens is I usually wind up tipping like even more than that, which is not bad. It's not a bad thing to over tip. You know, the girl's getting hooked up.
She's got nice tits normally.
But still, when I go back and look at it, I'm like, damn, I gave her like X amount. I probably should have given her like, $10 less or whatever, So.
Well, I can't do that. I can't do that because once I got to Tampa and once things started happening for me in the media realm here, and people knew who you were everywhere you went, there was always that thing playing. So even if you were a shitty wait server, you'd still get 20% from me. It would pain me so much, but I'd still give you 20%.
20% is what I would on just a regular, regular meal. Everything was fine. It was good. I usually do 20, a little bit over, unless it's
20 plus $1.
Right. Unless it's or if I'm at a bar and it's somebody I know, then I'll make sure that it's like you said, you'll double it up or whatever because you were drunk or whatever the case may be, or you just really have great service. Then I was known to do that. I would just double down just because. Just why not?
Have you ever not
I was
tipped?
about to ask that question to you.
One
time. I mean, also one time. Did you ever not tip?
No, but I've gone low a few times. Like if I usually
Done the 1 penny thing?
No, not that.
That's worse than just not tipping.
But what I'm saying is like 20%. Like I always try and do 20%. But when I was staying at a certain place not too long ago, about a month ago, we were staying and we went to the restaurant. This server was absolutely horrible. Like she made me feel like I shouldn't have been in the restaurant. Like she made me feel like shit. Like she said, like I was bothering her. So I was like, I told Hayes, I said, I hate doing this. I said, but I'm only giving her like $2. Like I gave her like $2 on like a $40, $50 bill. You know what I mean?
Remember the day that I had to do the St. Pete Bagels thing? The chick behind the counter, I felt the same way. I felt like I was putting her out, asking for a dozen. Like, you know what I mean? Like the attitude that was coming back. Now I don't try to correct somebody. I don't try to make a scene right then and there because I don't know what just happened before I walked in. You know what I mean? But I had the same feeling not too long ago at St. Pete Bagel. I felt like I was putting this fucking chick out because she was getting bagels for me.
I don't like that excuse either, though, on a server side, because I've been in the service industry and I've been out to where, I mean, shit, even in our business, when you go on the radio,
you have to leave it at the door.
You leave it at the door and do your show because everybody doesn't need your shit.
But it's easier said than done.
But it's every job. It's every job.
It is easier said than done. But I was at Publix yesterday and I had got a pub sub last night and I'm standing in line and I walked up and I could see that she wasn't having the best day, and I was like, hey, how are you? Thank you so much, because she was doing my sub or whatever. Like, thank you so much. And she's like, yeah, right. And then she just, and then finally at the very end, she's like, here, she had my sub. It was a really small sub. Have a good day.
Well, at least you didn't go like this. Here's your sub.
Why would you throw a battery at me?
I've always wanted to throw a battery at somebody, and I finally
It could be
Bucket
worse.
list.
She could have been like, here's your sub. And she could have rubbed it on her crotch. Right?
That could have been better.
That could have been better.
No, real quick, I had to tell you, I had a friend of mine. He's one of those guys who like lays his balls out on the table, literally. Like he doesn't give a shit what anybody thinks. They're
called sociopaths.
He used to do this thing where he used to go to a restaurant. He used to lay out a $20 bill on the table in the beginning of the night, and he would tell the waitress, he says, "This is your tip. Every time you screw up or you don't attend to me, I'm taking $1 off of here."
What a fuck.
That's it. What an asshole.
How could that person be your friend?
What an asshole. Does he listen to the show?
Yep.
What's his name?
I'm not telling you.
I will say this.
What is his name? Just give me his first name.
G.
You are
Greg.
a cock rocket.
Is it third leg Greg?
No.
There's no way. Fucking third leg Greg's a baller. That motherfucker be like, hey!
But the one time that I
Love
did
that
not
guy.
leave a tip, the one time that I walked out, it was either a Denny's or a Perkins in Kissimmee, in Central Florida. And it was one of those where I had a gig, you're there at 1 o'clock in the morning, there's nobody in the entire place except for the servers. Mm-hmm. They're all on the exact opposite side of the restaurant over there, back when you could smoke, and they're all smoking, doing whatever. At the very beginning, somebody came, and the next, like 10, 15 minutes later, somebody came to bring, and I never saw, it was just so annoying. I sat there the whole time, and they just fucking sat in the corner. So I'm sitting there and going, do I do this? Do I do this? And I was like, fuck them. They don't earn. This person earned nothing.
Right.
So I put
earn your
0,
money.
0, 0, da, da. Well, the funny thing is, I'm parked right outside the window where I sat.
Right.
So I get in my car, and the person comes walking over, and we make eye contact, and the person goes like, does the hands in the air, like, what the fuck?
Right.
And I look back, and I go, what the fuck? And I just drive away. And that was the only time.
I did it one time.
In my 20s.
I was also in my 20s. I was at the Hollywood Cafe in Royal Palm Beach, Florida. And we had a really big group. It was like a Sunday afternoon gathering. Big group at the table. And the chick was just so not attentive to anything. Just, hey, can I get another Diet Coke? Like that. And she walks away, and I never get the Diet Coke. And I asked 3 times, it never came, and she huffed every time.
Was her name Crystal?
Badassery in motion.
I'm the original badass. I had my first threesome at 7, and once I beat up a police horse.
Hello. Fisher and Kage.